So, welcome back to the channel with a new topic to talk. I think this is a podcast. This is podcast number 3 or 4. So back in a very good afternoon, and well, you know, I do what I love to do. I speak what I feel like speaking, and that's how you should train your mind, right? You should train your mind to be who you are, to bring the genuine side of you, to speak bold, to be bold, to speak to bring the better version of you. And it's all because it all happens after you train your mind. It's not because when you're born, you don't get those strengths. Maybe some of them get that, but not many of us get that. You have to train your mind, and we have to constantly talk good things about us, tell who you want to become. And that's all after training. All happens after training your mind. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. How training your mind is important, how mentality is important, why you should, everyone, male, female, man, woman, kids, they should learn how to train your mind. For what? So once again, a very good afternoon. So a very good afternoon again. And before I start, I'm sorry if the sound quality is not good. Like I said, I'm equipped with minimal resources that I have. So I'm just trying, my best to bring something valuable. So I'm sorry if the quality is bad, but as long as you understand the message that I wanna provide, it's a win for me. So let's begin. And what I feel is we human beings have two strengths, that we possess. We possess two strengths. We are born with it. One, we all know, that is our physical strength, that we are so proud of, that many men especially, we wear it, like armor in our chest, But second one was also, we all know, that is a mental strength, but many don't understand the real strength, that how having a strong mentality, how having a strong mental strength can help a person grow so much stronger, more stronger than a man who's physically stronger than him. That's why we don't understand, and it's one of the most negligible thing, and not just negligible, it's ignored because we are too lazy to train our mind, and every important thing goes to the physical strength. When a man is tall, built like a rock, he's considered as one of the toughest motherfuckers, toughest man, and is glorified by many. But that man who is a skinny man but has a strong mental resilience is often considered as weak, and that's the world we live in, because we ignore the fact that having a strong mindset can help you reach into great heights, But the thing is, when a man genetically, some men possess a great physical strength, but what I feel is, without having a proper understanding of that physical strength, without having a proper mindset of what that physical strength can do, and making it work for us, he's just a bolt of rock, that can be moved here and there easily by anyone, especially a smart man with a strong mental strength. Therefore, that man's strength just becomes his ego, to lift him up during days where he's lazy, and that strength doesn't remain there for long. At the end of the day, sooner it wears off, It's our mental strength that dies with us, that we take through our lifetime, you know. It's our mental strength that helps us, build ourselves, and therefore I've written it somewhere, I've written it. Mental strength is that strength that helps a man reach great place and also helps a man become a successful man. But to achieve that strength mentally, it's not an easy task for everyone, and therefore a man must go through. A man must go through hell, if I can say that. A man must go through discomfort, a series of discomfort, through years, through rigorous training, just like how during the time of kings and queens, every warriors like Miyamoto Musashi, and kings like, what was the king name? Marcus Aurelius. You must know how Marcus Aurelius, was a great king of Rome, but during the time of when there was a famine, I guess, and let's just say a disaster during his rule of kingdom, he gave all of his valuable thing to fix. Correct me if I'm wrong, but to fix his kingdom back, to help his people, to fix it, in short. And that, when you're a king, that doesn't happen. You are in a comfort, and when you're in comfort, you don't want to go through discomfort. So being a king, having everything, and to give away his valuable possession to fix his kingdom, you must have a strong mindset, to give away everything. So that's what how a great kings are made. Even kings with even king with strong mindset is always gonna lead the battlefield and always gonna be the first one to take the hit, because that's what makes him a king, rather than being a king who strikes from behind, who strikes only when the war is going for him in his favor. That king is never respected, because there is no glory. We all chase glory without work. We all want glory without going through a series of battle in life. And every warriors, in those eras, as much as they trained physically hard, they also went through darkness in their life, through discomfort in their life. They pushed their body to that stage where they're mentally strong. They could, where they could bear anything, and that's what made him great. What made them great warriors, At the same time, they knew what strength they possess, and they were humble. Every great warriors, I must say, they were humble, but at the same time they were confident. And even in this, let me just say, there was one great thing that I've just wrote. And even in this modern era, where we are consumed and filled with distractions, we all should train our mind. Why do you think now there's no kingdoms and there's no clans, but why do you think a special force operators goes through series of, for them, mental strength is more valuable rather than physical? Because physical strength, what they believe is physical strength can be made, but mental strength can only be made when that man himself makes a decision to build. So even in this modern era, one must learn to train his mind through all this distraction, and that we have, how convenient life has become. And I'm not gonna act like I am one of the most fucking mentally strong person, because I know how many distractions that I have to go through. And that's why I said before I started this video, that at the end of the day I'm training my mind every fucking day, and that's why I'm here speaking with every one of you, with my heart out, because at the end of the day, speaking, even speaking in front of the camera is hard for me and hard for many, but the day I decided to press the record button and film myself speaking and keep going it without proper result, without proper views and etc. you know at the end of the day, I still wake up and do my work like it's my fucking duty, because I'm training my mind. I may not get success in this YouTube shit, and I don't care, but what the success that I'm gonna get is I kept going. My mind, every time I didn't want to do something, but I did, my mind got 1% stronger, and that's what I believe. So that's why even in this modern era, one must learn to have a strong mental resilience, and mental resilience just doesn't come easily. We must go through shit in life, we must go through the darkness in life, we must learn to adapt in that darkness, and it's not an easy thing to do. But rather, I'm not saying you should go and isolate yourself in the mountains and live there. No, live your life as you have been living, but also train your mind. And how do you train your mind? Of course, we train our mind by pushing ourselves, pushing our bodies into discomfort, training, workout, going for that run. I hated running, one thing I hated was fucking running. Ever since my school years, I never ran a kilometer, but from the last, few years, I have started working out. Even then, I hated running. I skipped running like hell, like how a kid skips veggies. I hate it. Even when I was working out, I always felt like no, running was not for me. But over the last few months, I've been running. I've been pushing myself, and what's surprising? I can run. I can run. I'm not Usain Bolt. I'm not the fastest. I'm not Kipchoge. I guess that's the guy's name, Aaron Kipchoge, the marathon runner. I'm not him. I'm not the fastest man. But you know what? I did what I felt like I couldn't do. I can push myself. I started from last few months, so I completed my first 1K, then was 2K, 3K, 3 kilometers, and surprisingly last week I completed my 10K. And it's not for marathon. I'm not practicing for this. I'm just trying to build my mental strength, by going through that darkness. Because what I've realized after why I didn't ran before during my school days, my sports days and all. I always quit running, because running is one of the most toughest thing, a man can do. Lifting weights is, to be honest, is easy, it's easy compared to running, what I feel. But when you run, and that too, not just jogging but running, in 4 minutes kilometer, for when you go for that long run, you feel like your legs are gonna break. At least for me, I don't know if some guys are genetically capable of running well, but for me, I had to push myself. Why did I do that? Because I needed to get into that darkness. That's how a mental strength is built. That's how you train your mind. And I'm not here saying I'm strongest. I'm not David Goggins, but I am me, and I'm learning. Maybe later in life, but I'm still here. I'm still learning. That's why I say train your mind, and that's how you train your mind. And second thing you train your mind is by reading, by acquiring knowledge, by putting good things here, because you are, what you put here. you put bad stuff, you think, you always visualize about partying, sex, girls. That's what you're gonna do it, you know. But live your life, go and enjoy, go and party, go and have sex. Who's stopping you, man? But just like sex and money, you know, without proper mental strength, when you achieve loads of money and when you have loads of sex with different partners without proper mental strength or mental understanding, you reach nowhere. You have seen many great sports person, millionaires being broke, you know, either because having no proper understanding of money and sex. That's where mindset comes. It's not just about mindset, not just about physically pushing yourself, but in whole life, you know, it's in whole life. Mindset comes there, you know. Understanding life, knowing yourself, you know, who are you when nobody's watching, how much work are you doing when nobody's watching, and that's where your mindset's gonna do, you know, because many of us act off when people are watching, but who are you when nobody's watching? How strong are you? You know, who are you when you are broke? Because anybody can act confident when you have loads of money. Anybody can act up when many girls and guys are giving you attention. But who are you when you are alone, with no money, with no sex, with no weak mind? You know, that's where mental strength comes. Mental strength. That's where every day when you're pushing yourself, when your life is shit, every day when you're weak and crumbled, but yet you wake up to do the things that you hate doing it, because you know that's a valuable thing that's gonna help you grow mentally later in life. That's where you become strong, because at the end of the day, even to handle that money that you have, you need mental strength. Otherwise you're just gonna waste on stupid things. Even to handle that sex with your partner, you need mental strength and mental understanding, because at the end of the day, when all of a sudden you realize you're addicted to sex, and without sex there's no relationship. So having mental clarification is must, and for that you must train your mind. And it's not just 1 or 2 weeks, 3 weeks session, it's a whole lifetime session. Life is all about learning. That's what I feel. And training your mind is one of the most greatest aspect that that a man can gift himself. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope you guys have a great day.